Hey, how's it going? And welcome to the show. And today we're going to be talking about wood harvesting techniques, the tools you'll need, their pros and cons, along with tips and tricks on how to get that fire going. Now, the ability to process firewood while also being able to create and maintain fire while out in the backcountry, especially on long expeditions, is an essential skill that all people should possess. It was arguably one of the first major breakthroughs in human evolution, separating us from other animals and from our closest living relatives, leading to further technological advances from the creation of primitive stone tools to the marvels of the modern world, including the metal tools now used to make the job of processing firewood that much easier. Wood harvesting tools like saws, axes, and survival knives all have their place, and each serve different purposes in the processing of firewood. Having any combination of these tools will drastically improve your ability to collect firewood that is too large to carry, to break it down into manageable pieces, to craft a wide variety of tools out of, along with getting through the wet stuff and into the dry parts on the inside. So let's get started. When it comes to the processing of large amounts of wood, breaking down logs into manageable pieces, removing branches, and felling small trees, saws are definitely the most efficient option available, allowing you to process more firewood without expending too much energy. Saws come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes, from small pocket wire or chainsaws, collapsing or folding options, to full Tang fixed blade saws, each having their own benefits along with detriments. Pocket wire or chainsaws are the most compact option available. They can be rolled up and tucked away easily as they take up little to no space in a pack, but are usually less effective and robust in the long run, often requiring the most effort of the bunch as they often snag or get caught, while also being the least durable option. This being especially true for wire saws as they can potentially heat up from the friction and snap. Of the two, I definitely prefer the pocket chainsaws as they are sturdier, have much more aggressive teeth, and do the job a lot better than their wire counterparts, but take up more space. They also can be used to craft a bow saw out of by removing, notching, and tying both ends of the saw to a small, still-living green branch for one-handed use. This is no replacement for a proper collapsing or full Tang saw, but will definitely do the trick in a pinch. Folding or collapsing saws are excellent options as they pack down smaller than full Tang fixed blade saws. They do the job well, but are generally less robust in the long run and will usually break down sooner depending on make and model. Folding saws and collapsing bow saws are likely the best choice for someone who is looking to pack light and isn't necessarily concerned with processing a large amount of firewood, this being especially true with smaller folding saws. Collapsing bow saws have been historically held as the go-to classic in takedown tripping saws for many years, as they are generally the best at processing firewood of the bunch, but usually require the most amount of assembly prior to use. Personally, I have a small folding camless 15.5-inch limb saw. It's great for sawing through small logs or decent-sized tree limbs, and I'll often take it on trip with me, especially on really short trips or if space is tight. But to tell you the truth, I consider it more of a backup. I much prefer using a sturdy full Tang handsaw over folders and small pocket chain or wire saws, as they are extremely reliable, durable, and in my opinion are well worth their weight as they are generally the most capable of getting the job done efficiently. I primarily use a Silky Zubat 330mm handsaw. It has a curved full Tang saw blade made from heavy-duty SK4 high-carbon steel along with an ergonomic rubberized pistol grip handle. It comes with an excellent sheath with a detachable belt holder and is an absolute beast of a saw, especially for its size. It's suitable for hard use in the backcountry and ultimately is a product I would highly recommend for any avid outdoorsman, landscaper, or canoe tripper. Axes are very versatile tools and come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes, generally based on overall length, the shape of the axe head and handle, blade profile, along with the weight behind it. The various different kinds of axes can generally be broken down into three basic types: the hatchet, tomahawk, and two-handed axes, each having their own specific strengths and weaknesses. Hatchets are essentially small one-handed axes, usually having an ergonomic handle along with a flat hammerhead on the back of the axe head. They are generally the lightest, most compact option, providing the most control of the bunch, meant for splitting small logs, cutting wood, and delimbing small branches. Hatchets excel at small woodwork, as they are the best at breaking down small-sized logs into kindling. This can be done safely by swinging the axe and log together into a fallen tree or stump, then splitting it into two pieces, repeating the process further and further until satisfied. You can also use the edge like a knife by holding it close to the axe head, which can be very effective at whittling sticks or shaving wood. Hatchets are a very viable option and a classic choice for all outdoorsmen alike, especially for those looking to keep the weight of their pack down. but as a trade-off, you are less effective overall at processing large amounts of firewood due to the fact that you are generally limited to one-handed use. Tomahawks are small to medium-sized hand axes, good for all-around use, usually with a straight handle, thin blade profile, and an overall lightweight design. They are generally well-rounded and good at performing a wide range of tasks, from chopping wood, making wood shavings, to splitting logs. In general, most tomahawks represent a good middle ground between a hatchet and a two-handed forest axe, as they can be used with one or two hands, are light enough to perform smaller tasks like breaking down wood into kindling, while also being able to split larger logs than a hatchet due to the length of the handle. They come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes, from modern tactical options to more traditional tomahawks. Modern or tactical hawks often sport different head shapes and a variety of tools on the backside of the axe head, often including spikes, various hammerheads, and pickaxes. The handles are usually made with plastic or are constructed of metal, often being full tang and higher end models for extreme durability. Traditional tomahawks are steeped in North American history, originally created by the Algonquins using stone axe heads, mounted on straight wooden handles using strips of rawhide. They were used as everyday bushcraft and wood processing tools, as well as melee weapons in war. In the 17th century, the British Royal Navy recognized their usefulness in the northern boreal forest and began mounting metal axe heads on traditional tomahawks based on the design of the British boarding axe. This significantly improved durability and performance, with the axe head quickly becoming a high-value trade item and a standard for years to come. Traditional tomahawks are still used to this day by avid outdoorsmen and survivalists due to their versatility, along with the added benefit of a removable axe head, as you can use the head on its own as a hand axe or push knife, while also making the handle extremely easy to replace while out in the field. You can actually craft any piece of sturdy wood into a replacement by carving it into shape with the proposed handle tapering out slightly towards the top, then mounting the axe head with a friction fit. This is done by lightly filing down any sharp or rough edges on the inside of the axe head, then sending down the top of the handle until the head fits firmly with absolutely no movement at all. Once this is done, whack the top of the handle holding the underside of the axe head on a hard object to further lodge the head onto the handle for a solid friction fit. Test it out, and if it comes loose, grab that sandpaper and continue sanding around the top of the handle until the head fits perfectly. Two-handed axes like felling and splitting axes come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes and are truly excellent at processing large amounts of firewood. They are often made with a heavy metal axe head, usually with a flat hammer face on the backside of the head. The handles are generally long and made from various materials, usually constructed out of plastic, wood, or metal, often with an ergonomic grip. Large splitting axes are the largest and heaviest option available, usually with a hefty axe head with a broad blade angle or wedge specifically designed to split large logs with ease. They are ideal for use around the cottage, homestead, or cabin, but are generally far too big and hefty to carry around on portages, so I'll rule them out for canoe tripping or on any kind of hiking trip. Felling axes are generally medium to large axes, perfect for use in the woods, as the axe heads have a much thinner profile and are lighter than splitting axes. They are great for splitting logs and for felling trees, but I'd argue are still too large and heavy for canoe trips with a lot of portages, although on laid-back trips with few to no portages, an axe like this would be superb. When it comes to choosing between a hatchet, tomahawk, or axe, it's all a balancing act. Each has its own use, and it really depends on what kind of trip you find yourself on, along with your overall wood processing needs. Personally, I primarily use the Coldsteel Rifleman's Hawk. It's a traditional tomahawk with a hefty high carbon steel axe head with a serious hammer on the end of it. Overall, it's great at splitting decent sized logs when used with two hands, along with performing a variety of tasks around camp, and in my opinion, is the perfect size for canoe tripping, as it's not too large or heavy to carry on portages, while still being extremely versatile. Now, to tell you the truth, I have several Coldsteel products and absolutely love their gear. But when I first got this tomahawk, I was a little disappointed in the overall sharpness of the blade, along with the mounting of the axe head, so I modified it myself by removing the set screw, sharpening the blade, staying the handle to my liking, and applying a friction fit, firmly securing the axe head to the handle. Although for the price, this is an incredible tomahawk if you're willing to put in the time to modify it, as the axe head is made of high quality steel and once it's honed in, is excellent around camp. But if you're looking for something field ready out of the box, I'd suggest looking elsewhere, as you will need to put in the work on this one. When it comes to backcountry camping and wilderness survival, a fixed blade knife is arguably one of the most important tools you can have in your arsenal. They come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes, performing a vast array of different tasks, from food preparation to tool making and wood harvesting. For this video, I'm going to concentrate on wilderness survival knives, using my top Steel Eagle 107C Delta as an example. The Steel Eagle 107C Delta is a solid full-tang fixed-blade knife with a 7-inch high-carbon steel blade, a spear pointer hunter's tip, along with a fully functional saw on the backside of the blade. I also have this blade customized with serrations upon order, as this knife generally comes with a straight edge, and tops really outdid themselves with these very well thought out serrations. As you can see, the teeth are fairly broad, with very few sharp aggressive points, providing just enough grit to rip through tough materials, perfect for delimbing sticks and small branches while still maintaining a high level of durability. With this kind of knife, you can process wood in a wide range of ways, by whittling sticks into spikes to be used as tent pegs, to shave off the wet stuff and into the dry parts in wet conditions, along with the collection of wood shavings to be used as tinder. You can also craft excellent tools out of wood with this knife, as the saw is superb at making notches, as well as being able to saw your way through small to medium-sized branches. This blade is also hefty enough to split decent-sized logs by batoning your way through them. When using a sturdy fixed blade knife to baton through a log, hack into it making sure it sticks, then grab a strong decent sized branch or small tree limb and strike the top of the knife near the tip repeatedly like a hammer, while simultaneously guiding the knife through the log by holding the handle and managing the blade angle. When the world around you is wet, or if the natural supply of dry sticks is lacking in that region, you can baton the once larger logs down over and over again into small pieces for kindling. I find that this is one of the places where this knife shines, as I'd much prefer this method with a knife than with a hatchet, as it is that much more precise, especially with the smaller pieces, as you often only need to stick it at the top and to strike the bottom against a log or stump. The top Steel Eagle 107C Delta is an absolutely amazingly sturdy and robust blade. It's an extremely versatile, well-crafted knife, and is a piece of gear I'd highly recommend for the use in the backcountry. It is no true replacement for a dedicated saw or axe, but will definitely do the job for you in a pinch, while still performing all the required duties of a sturdy fixed-blade knife. In the end, the ability to use tools to efficiently harvest firewood can make all the difference while out on trip. What gear you choose to bring is entirely dependent on personal preference and what kind of trip you're out on. You don't need to break the bank getting the latest and greatest, as having any of these tools will significantly improve your ability to harvest firewood, but it's also worth getting gear that will hold up to use and abuse. I pretty much always bring my Silky Zubat, my Coldsteel Rifleman's Hawk, and the top Steel Eagle on all my trips, as all of them will hold up against the wear and tear of canoe tripping in northern Ontario, sometimes leaving the Tomahawk at home on short, lightweight trips.
Well, thanks again, everyone. Hope this was helpful. Have a good one and get out there and explore.
If you enjoyed this content, give it a like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more Tripping Authority videos.